So the topic of this discussion forum is grappling with designing science communications. The main question we want to talk about, what do we think about the practice of designing messages about science? For example, to tell science stories. Or should scientists just stick to the facts? To help get the discussion going, I'd like to share my perspective. I've spent the last 15 years thinking about and researching how best to communicate health numbers to the public. And when I say health numbers, I mean things like risk statistics or test results, or other data that is important for us to understand in order to make good decisions about our health. So think about this. Every time someone takes an airplane flight, they get exposed to additional radiation. Our atmosphere filters out a lot of background radiation from space, but the higher you fly in a plane, the less atmosphere there is above you to act as a filter. So let's assume for the moment that you take a flight from New York to Los Angeles. By one estimate, you might be exposed to 40 microsieverts of radiation. Quick, is that a lot? Should you be concerned about it? My guess is most of you have no idea. If I wanted to help, however, I could give you a reference point. For example, I could tell you about the fact that a dental X-ray, something many of us have had many times, might involve 5 microsieverts of radiation. That means the plane flight is exposing you to 8 times as much radiation as the dental X-ray. Now, does the 40 feel like a lot? But what if instead I give you a different reference point? Say, the yearly dose of radiation you get every year from the potassium that naturally exists in your body, that might be something like 390 microsieverts. So the plane flight is only about 1/10 or 10% of that amount. Makes it feel different, right? Or I could give you both reference points. See, all of these numbers are at least approximately true. But if I give you all of that, would that help? Or would it make you more confused? I might be creating information overload. The point here is this. How you're going to feel about that 40 microsievert dose from the plane flight can change a lot based upon how I choose to communicate it to you. Science communication is always like this. There are always choices in how we present it. What reference points we provide for the data. What formats we use to show our results. What analyses are focused on. Notice that not providing information is a choice too, right? I could have said, no, I can't tell them about either X-rays or potassium radiation. But if I do that, if I don't provide you those facts, that would leave you where we started, with a number that probably didn't mean anything to you. The simple truth that I believe is this. Data and facts do not ever speak for themselves. We speak through our data. And so science communicators must be willing and able to make informed, intentional choices about how we present science in order to help people understand and use it. Is there danger here? Sure. Data, facts, the process of science even, can all be manipulated by people with an agenda. Darrell Huff's 1954 book, How to Lie with Statistics, is as relevant today as it was then. But the more that scientists understand how people's understanding is shaped by their communications, the more that they can make helpful rather than harmful choices. And the more that science audiences understand the different ways that science communications can be designed, the more they can be intelligent and careful consumers of science. As a result, therefore, I believe that science communication has to be designed. We can't just throw information at people. We have to discuss it with them in a two-way conversation. Now, maybe you agree. Maybe you don't. But that's what we'd like to discuss here. So the question is this. What do we think about the idea of designing science communications? How, when, and why do we think it's appropriate?